Welcome to Inform TV. I'm Alan Repke, Alexandria, Minnesota. Today, this second day of June 2013, we're going to continue with my commentary, my opinion piece here, my thoughts, my observations. And this time we're going to focus strictly on School District 206, Alexandria. I had it actually in the loop that I was talking about relating to the county commissioners and some of the issues there that disturbed me and that I thought you should be aware of, and then probably did a so-so approach to it. But and I tried to include this school portion into it and lost my train of thought a couple times, and it just irritated me so much that how could I live in a town, such a beautiful town, all you nice people, and have all these conniving groups that are supposed to be the democracy of our area in a modern time when we're supposed to be open and all this. At any rate, Sunday afternoon, maybe I'm throttled back a little bit and that type of thing. So at any rate, I want to what I'm focusing on here. The other day when I was out soliciting some businesses for some advertising, went into the one and asked, you want to do some advertising? Maybe in mid-June or something. We're really busy. Come back then. But he went, you know, I got a job for you. Okay, what's my job? Does it include any money? That's how I relate to a job, most of you. No, it's for the good of the community. And so I said, well, you're going to throw me $50 or something so I can pursue what? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. It's your responsibility to look into these things when we citizens have these concerns. And I said, okay, what's the deal? Well, I've heard that the new school building out there, they got some issues. And they had an issue on pouring some concrete and whether they poured it 6 inches when it should have been 4 inches deep, and it's buckling something. And he said, I've heard a little bit of everything, and by now maybe every one of you have heard something or something's out there. But this was on Friday, so I thought, well, or on Thursday, I guess it was. Yeah, Thursday. And so I thought I'd check it out in my way, in the informed way. I've poured a lot of concrete, been involved with some big business projects and that type of thing, so I got a little background in everything. And you got to go out to school and see what's going on. So I called the school and I said I'd like to meet with Superintendent Lane, I think is his name, the way they pronounce it. And well, he's busy, and Jill Johnson's gone, and I said, well, I don't care about Jill Johnson. She means nothing to me, even though we've changed a little correspondence on the old building and that type of thing by email. I wouldn't know over her if I ran into her, that type of thing, and said, I want to, but this is an important issue, so I'll come out there with my camera, just catch the superintendent. He can comment on what I hear about some concerns the community is having with the new building, and or have him call me back. Well, he didn't call me back right away, so I called him back. I said, I'm just going to come out with my camera. You can talk just a few seconds and straighten things out, in his own words. And anyway, so I go out there and school district, and I just set my camera up, and I said, tell the superintendent's here. I respect his time, busy schedule. I've got one too. And anyway, he comes out and he said, just give me just a little break, and I'll talk to you for a little bit. And I said, fine. And he comes back and he said, well, I'm not going to do it on camera, and we can't do it because Jill Johnson's not here today. And I go, sir, I said, I've dealt with Jill Johnson. I don't need Jill Johnson in my life, nor do I think it's appropriate. I said, you're the superintendent, I'm the local TV station, and just talk on camera and ask some of my questions. And well, I'm not going to do that, and I don't have to do that. I said, come in my office and we'll talk a little. I said, I don't like to do it that way. I just want you to tell my listeners, the people of the community, what's going on. You're new in town. That's be good for them to see on TV. And no, I can't do that. But okay, I said, I'll compromise. Let's go in your office. And we sat down. If anybody's been there, there's 3 chairs kind of in a U shape, so nobody can say I wasn't there, so to speak. And we sit down, and I told him my concerns about concrete that I've heard, and I said I'm checking it out. I said part of the reason, sir, I'm checking it out, I had met him a little bit at the ball diamond, that one piece we showed on baseball here, and seemed like a real nice guy. And I tried to tell him I'm not the two-headed monster that the elitists in the community like to portray me as, but I'm tough. And anyway, he said, well, we did have a little issue over there, but here's the deal. And so he explained that they had a mix, either a truck was delayed or anybody's poured concrete. You know, there's a lot of issues pouring concrete, and to get that perfect pour is always a challenge, and every contractor knows it, or any individual's ever been involved with it. And he said, Al, if you've been involved in projects like you tell me, you know nothing's perfect. And I said, I'm not here for perfect, but I'm here, you know, the tragedy with the tornado in Oklahoma there, we're building a brand new building. Is it safe? When they start talking about buckling in the construction phase, I said, it gets my attention, sir. And then he went on to say, well, it's not the way I want it, and if you'd roll it, you won't see it with your bare eye, but now I want to go out there and actually see it. And because of what we're going to be talking about here. And he said, if you roll a pipe across it, you'll see it. And he said, we're going to either plane it, or he said, I don't think we're going to have to knock it out or anything like that. And he said, since then, we've poured some stuff very successfully, and so on and so forth. And he went on, and he said, well, we got to have this agreement. And a nice conversation of professional to professional. And I said, have you ever looked at that agreement? I said, they have in that agreement that if I see somebody smoking pot out in the lot here, that I'd be in violation of a contract. I can't make any money. I can't advertise. I have to be kind of led around like a bull with a ring in my nose. And anyway, we had this nice conversation. I said, sir, that's all I wanted. And I said, we'd been done with this now if you just turn the camera on. And you see my point? He said, well, yeah, I guess so. And he said, well, you know, I can maybe do this later this afternoon. I said, fine, I'll come back. And even though I'm not making any money on it, the guy that wants me to do this wouldn't give me even $50. So, but I said, I'll come back. And yeah, I think that'll work. And I said, you got my card, send me an email. I got my studio number on there as well as my cell phone. I'll clear my schedule. If you call me back in an hour, I'll come here 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. When you leave at 5 o'clock, I'll come back. And anyway, so I leave, and I take him for his word that we're going to do it. And 4 o'clock comes, and I'm not getting anything, so I'll call him, maybe remind him, and whoever answered the phone there in the school, it's 4 o'clock, school's out, and he's gone for the day. And I said, well, we were going to do a shoot, and well, you want to leave an email? So I left him a message that I said, okay, I said, I'm disappointed in a very professional way. I said, I thought we had an agreement. I took your word, but I said, I'll compromise. Tomorrow morning I'll come in again and just tell the community what you're telling me, that there were some issues, but you think they're manageable, and so on and so forth, and what really happened and how the school is going, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to edit. You can put it on. And so Monday morning comes, and wait till about 9 o'clock, and call the school again, and I said, can I come in? No, you've got to get approval with Jill Johnson and him to come in and understand how our system works. And I'd already told the guy that I'm not concerned about Jill Johnson in any manner, shape, or form. I'm a grown adult. I know what's going on. I want to talk to the boss, and I want my audience to see what the boss is up to, or what the boss's abilities are. And so I thought, okay, I'll email Jill Johnson, and boom, she is on vacation like he had said before. And so there was no opportunity to do anything on Friday, even though 5 minutes or 10 minutes in front of the camera and you guys would have saw what's your new superintendent. Instead, I get this old agreement thrown back in my face, and I wonder for the community, who in the Sam Heck is in charge of our school system here? Because truly, this superintendent is. When he's got to go to what I understand is a lower level. Now, maybe Jill Johnson is the higher level. You know, we got Education Minnesota going with their #1 priority of the legislature was not to improve legislation. You remember that commercial from Tom Dewar? Is to see that education is fully funded. In other words, throw more money at a system that most of us believe is clearly broken, and with all the kids that don't even graduate statewide, especially in the Twin Cities, and the disparity of income. People, we got some major problems in education, and you're not going to solve them with more money. But anyway, in the thought process here, I'm thrown back to Jill Johnson. So I think every coffee shop, every bar, every church basement, maybe you guys all know who this Jill Johnson is. Does she represent the firm in town that is the manifold of the community or sub-community, what I experience? Or is she the representative of the Chamber of Commerce at school, or the Business Roundtable, or the county commissioners? I don't know. I think it should be front and center in the discussions going on. Who in this Sam Heck doesn't run? I always was growing up in an era where I personally knew the president of the university when I used to raise some money for them. When I went to school at Crookston, Dean Sahlstrom, just an incredible guy. Always knew people of extreme substance, and they were always straight shooters. I mean, if you wanted an answer, they knew. My old superintendent where I grew up in, the ones that at least I respected, you know, you always had some less than kosher ones, but bam, you wanted an answer, they'd give it to you, and sure, they worked with their board, and they all had some rules and regulations they follow, but not to the point where the superintendent can't say, the local TV station, yeah, I can tell you what's going on. And but at any rate, in this process, I'm back to the agreement. Dr. Hartman, your school activities director, we had a nice meeting, but he throws this agreement in my face, and the community, evidently, not you people, of course, but the elitists in the community think that everything's got to go according to their regime, and rather than have somebody at the head of the department, just like I'm saying, we need a president like Rex Tillerson. We need a governor that knows what the Sam Heck is going on, how to administrate, as well as how to see that a legislature produces results. Not like the dog and pony show when we had Governor Dayton and the Republicans there, or the present dog and pony show when we had 3 bodies of Democrats there. You see my point? You got to have a leader. You got to have somebody that says, the heck you are, this is what's happened, or this is what needs to happen, and we're going to get the job done for you. But anyway, here's this agreement they keep throwing in my face, that Alexandria Activities Agreement with Inform TV and Alan Repke. Expectations for filming and rebroadcasting of Alexandria Cardinal activities, in other words, school activities of District 206. Because originally when I started doing this thing, I went out to your new building project out there and talked to your contractor. Oh God, I'd love to have you out here to film, show you what we're doing, show the community what we're doing, but you got to get permission from the superintendent. Then it was Quest, and right away it wasn't just Quest. I had to meet with Jill Johnson, and same with the architects, so on and so forth. But I want you to be aware of this despicable agreement, and I want you to do some questioning of your school board and find out for Alan Repke and Inform TV, so I can show this 40-mile radius, even if you're not in District 206. If it's happening here, people, it's happening around the state. And we all, as taxpayers, need to be aware that we've got a government, or we've got agencies like the school district working for our benefit, not for just the benefit of special interest and big money. And anyway, here's the expectations for filming and rebroadcasting these events. Number 1, no advertising. In other words, this school district doesn't believe I should have any revenue in any manner, shape, or form. Yet your local radio station, KXRA or whatever they call the thing, they're broadcasting games live, at least when I was at the football thing. And you got a booster club that's really an advertising agency for the businesses that are on there. But when it comes to Inform TV, we want that guy to get no revenue. But anyway, we'll just kind of read through it, and you'll see the disgust of what's going on within a public school facility that should be public and should be accountable to the public, and no better than the superintendent being required or the school board chairman to come and talk to camera and tell you what's going on and answer some of my questions, and don't just blow smoke in my face and in the smoke in your face. No advertising or solicitation for sponsorship is permitted, including logos, invitations to advertise, solicitation for sponsorship of the broadcast program or Inform TV. Number 2, rebroadcast of regular season events only. No live broadcast or streaming will be permitted. Number 3, students should be portrayed in a positive manner. Commentary should be limited to critiquing the event and positively highlighting effort and life skill development through participating in co-curricular activities. Number 4, rebroadcast rights must be obtained from all participating schools in advance. I mean, do I have to drive around to all these schools all the time and get their signatures, or I got to put up the same crap at Wilmer or the schools in Redwood, in St. Cloud that are in our conference, like I got to put on here? You see what I'm getting at? Dates, times, and locations of rebroadcasts must be submitted to the Jefferson High School Activities Office in advance, and event filming schedules prior to the start of each season. And today, people, when you look at I do get from what I consider a very nice lady, what's her name, Sherry something, sends me a daily email, what's going on. I mean, we got a whole event of seasons and groups, and it's endless. And so signing this, you could just fall into a well. Dates, times, locations of rebroadcast must be submitted to JHS Activities Office in advance, and event filming prior to the starting of each season. And there's always another season starting when you watch these emails. Filming is restricted to the competitive events of players only. No filming of fans or students. I mean, how are you going to go to a school activity and not film somebody? Coaches will conduct interviews no sooner than 30 minutes after the event and reserve the right to decline an interview. They're on the payroll, aren't they? I think most of the coaches would be school teachers as well as being paid for coaching. And yeah, they don't get probably paid what they should do for all the time they put in. But if they're a public event and there's a game, win, lose, or draw, as they said, if there's something out there, I should be able to talk to them. And then no student interviews will be permitted. What if they throw a temper tantrum out there, or embarrass the community, or win an award, do something great? You can't walk up to them. People, I've watched that all my life. The radio stations do it, TV stations do it. And number 9, District 206 has the right to periodically review the programming prior to rebroadcast. In other words, I spend my time or whatever, go out and do something and get a phone call. Nope, you can't put that on. We want to see that. And you see, while they want to manipulate my life, and you're right, as a taxpayer or people in this area, to see what's going on. And then 10, either party, District 206 or Inform TV, reserve the right to discontinue the agreement at any time. And then it says, above my signature, I agree to the expectations outlined in the agreement. Only a complete and total fool that was programmed by some educational group or some special interest group would be dumb enough to sign this. And then they spell my name wrong. I just love it when, I can't read or write. I said I absorb things, and They spell my name wrong. I just love when these guardians of the English language make a spelling error, because they had my card in this whole process. I'm throwing my card at them. But anyway, yeah, I know they're talking about Inform TV. And then in this case, they had David Hartman, director of Alexandria Public Schools. He was going to have to sign it too. And people, this is what I'm getting about. We've got this mass disparity of income. We were supposed to have the information age, and the only thing we're getting is information totally controlled, or so many things thrown at you without any explanation or whatever, that you just drowned in the stupidity of it. This thing of, well, turn to your computer, you can have free speech through a blog or a computer. I mean, most of us, when you get home at night, no matter what industry in today, everybody's stuck with these cockeyed computers, and you're so fed up, you just want to sit back and flick some channels and see what somebody else has to say and do. But anyway, I guess I'm calmed down a little bit from what I was. Now I actually want to find out who's in charge, because I actually want to see it now. When they refuse me and treat me as a little kid, and we don't seem to have anybody on the payroll over there that's an adult, I would like to meet your school board chairman and get his point of view, and go out with him, because obviously Quest is just a numbers guy, or not to Quest this lane, and he's a day-to-day caretaker. We need to find out who in the Sam heck is in charge, don't you think? And we need to find out what the rank of this Jill Johnson is. Maybe you can send me this documentation and her big picture and her engraved, granite carved bust of her. I mean, anytime I talk to somebody at school, oh, you've got to talk to Jill. I mean, give me a break. Is the superintendent in charge, or isn't he in charge? In my view, he ain't in charge of nothing. Some regime in Douglas County or the city of Alexandria is in charge of what's going on down there. We're spending a ton of money. The money people in town are going to make a ton of money out of this deal, because it's going to draw people to town. There's no question about that. But the wage scales are lousy here. Most of the jobs are going to be on the weekend when you should be with your kids and that type of thing. I'm not opposed to that. What I'm opposed to is we have a right when they talk about, whether it's the bar, the coffee shop, or the church basement, that something was wrong, and the scuttlebutt is pushing it, the tumbleweed is rolling. It's my job as a true TV station to show you people what's going on, and it's my obligation to tell you when there's somebody seems to be the 900-pound gorilla in the room anytime I mention the word District 206. And it looks to me like we need a thorough house cleaning of whatever's managing our school district, and especially probably starting with the school board. But I'll sit down and talk with any of them, but I won't take their crap, nor should you. Thanks for listening to Inform TV. I'm Alan Repke, Alexandria, Minnesota.